Hi, Floss Tube. It's Ellen and Wayne. Hey, Wayne. It's time for a stitch with me. What are you smelling? Say hi. Do you like people in general? What do you think? What do you think of cross stitch, Wayne? What do you think of cross stitch? You don't really care for it. He loves his mommy.
Hey everyone, it's time for a stitch with me with Elpoo. Holy doodle! Are you ready? It's time to stitch with Elpoo now, yeah!
Stitch with me with Elpoo. How are you? I am doing good. Thank you very much for asking. Did you ask? No? You're stitching. You're sitting there with your stitching and your cats and your tea or your dogs and your beer or your martinis if you're Aaron. I've got myself a club soda and two of the three cats. And I am working on my long dog sampler, descending order. I have done more frogging than I care to think about. I had done a huge section of the border and I had to frog it out completely because I had miscounted it by many rows. So that was a sad, sad day for Elpo, but it's all part of the process. Annie hoozy whatsy, as Steph would say. Yeah, so all's good here. We got back from our trip to Cuba on Saturday. It was lovely. We go to the same resort every year. We like the people. The food is probably some of the best that you're going to get in Cuba because they don't have much and they make do with what they have. Yeah, and the beach is amazing and the pools and the grounds are really beautifully kept. It's a lovely resort. It's very low key. It's not like a great big it doesn't look like a Hilton was dropped onto the beach. It's a nice little quaint resort. The highest building is 2 stories high, so it's all very low to the ground, which makes a difference, I guess. Oh, and I've already made a mistake. Hang on, adjusting. 1, 2, and I've only left. Oh no, I didn't make a mistake. Anyway, so we got back from Cuba on Saturday night. We were there for a week. You know how some people say that a week is not enough and 2 weeks is too much, but 10 days is perfect? After 5 days, we're just wanting to get back to the cats and the dog. I wonder what Sam's doing right now. What do you think the cats are thinking? Well, they're not doing anything. They're sleeping and wondering if they're going to get treats from the people who are looking after them. But we did get a very wonderful, warm welcome from them all, even the cats. Usually the cats are sort of like, whatever, you were gone, I didn't notice. Sam just about lost his mind, making amazing dog noises, rolling around on his back and wiggling. Just lovely. Yeah, so it was good to get home and get back into our routine. Of course, Brian's routine is going off to work every day, and he's not super excited about that, but it's part of the deal. That's why we take vacations, I guess. That didn't make any sense at all. So I should have made a list of things to talk about. I really should have, but I did not. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Am I going to sneeze? No, I'm not. I only sneezed once. That never happens. I always sneeze at least 3 times, never fewer than 3. So, wow, it's kind of a big day in my life. That is odd, though, that I only sneezed once. I usually sneeze more than once. Okay, anyway, yeah, I should have made a list of things to talk about. I had some general ideas. In my last Stitch with Me, I had asked you if there were any things that you wanted me to talk about, any questions that you had, that kind of thing. And a few of you asked me to talk about how I got started in the band. So I will do that now. And if you are not interested in that, then just um, just sing a Neil Diamond song quietly to yourself for about 3 minutes. And because that's about how long it will take me to talk about how I got started in the band. But if you're interested, here goes. I was going to the University of Winnipeg in the 80s, back in the dark ages. And through through a friend, I met Brad Roberts, who is the singer and founder of the band. He was looking for a keyboard player just to play in a couple songs. He played his little group was playing at this place called the Blue Note Cafe in Winnipeg. It was an after hours coffee house. Um, it was sort of an iconic venue in Winnipeg. Um, and it was really a wonderful place. I think Neil Young's played there. Lots of bands would go there after their gigs um, when they played in Winnipeg, and they would just go and have a fun, pop-up show, as it were, at the Blue Note. Anyway, Brad was playing there with his little trio. I mean, he wanted a keyboard player just to round out the sound, I guess, on a few songs. And so our mutual friend suggested me. I went down there and I didn't even audition. It was just kind of like, well, you can play piano. Well, sure, you're in. It's a good thing I didn't have to audition. So we were just playing the Blue Note, once a week on, I guess, Saturday nights. And we were all in university, so it couldn't really be anything more than that. And we were doing cover songs. We were doing folk covers, country music covers, television theme songs. It was really just fun, and it was a pass the hat kind of thing, and it covered our hydro bills, it was a lot of fun. I'm a morning person, not a night owl at all, and sometimes we wouldn't even start till 3 in the morning. So I must have really enjoyed it for me to step outside my sleepy comfort zone that much. But I was a young person then. I was probably 21 back in the day. Anyway, at one point, Brad decided that he wanted to write some original material and see if we could get ourselves put on the Canadian Folk Festival circuit. We didn't really think we would have a chance, but he wanted to try. And so he wrote a couple songs, and we made a demo tape, and it just got into, we sent it off to different, bookers, whoever books the folk festivals, and it got into the hands of some people who were very interested in what we were doing, which still surprises us to this day because we really were very raw and green. But anyway, that little demo tape ended up getting us not only on a folk festival circuit, but it got us signed to a record label, a major record label here in Canada, and then eventually in the States and internationally. I never thought that I would make my career in music. I always thought that I would be a librarian or a history teacher. I did my degree in history at University of Winnipeg. So I was, pretty excited when I was when I was in when I was in junior high, grade 8. My dream was to be the backup singer for Aerosmith, because as we know, bands like Aerosmith really want overweight 13-year-old girls to be their backup singers. So I ended up becoming a backup singer for a Canadian folk rock band. But I'll tell you, if Aerosmith called me up, I would jump at the chance. If Aerosmith is looking for a 54-year-old overweight backup singer, just give me a call. I hear they fired their drummer, Joey Kramer, recently. That was a bit of a scandal. But things happen. There's always two sides to every story, right? Who knows what went on there? We'll probably find out eventually. But you're not here to talk about Aerosmith or hear about Aerosmith. You're here to talk about stitching and the like. Anyway, so that's how I got started in the band. So I hope that answered your questions and wasn't too tedious. And for those of you who are singing Neil Diamond, you can rejoin us now. What else did I want to talk about? Market. Everyone is talking about market. I haven't seen too many. I don't know why. I've been scrolling through Instagram, and I haven't seen too many releases yet. I've seen. Oh, there goes my pattern. I've seen stuff from that is. Hi. How are ya? What you doing? There we go. I thought there would be more, but maybe it's just because I haven't been scrolling Instagram as much as I usually do because I was in Cuba. But what I have seen, I really like. I've seen some stuff from Beth Twist. Actually, she just put up a floss tube today showing her market releases and talking about them in detail. And that was pretty interesting. Of course, the Consider the Lilies, the companion piece to His Eyes on the Sparrow is fan-freaking-tastic. And somewhere, I think it's on Instagram, Facebook, she did a thing where she does a time lapse on how she on the stitching of it, so you see it sort of come together. That was really fun to watch. Anyway, that looks beautiful. And stuff from the Scarlet House looks amazing. Brenda Gervais stuff is adorable. I'm really impressed with the stuff that Teresa Kogut is coming out with. She's got a couple of really beautiful samplers, and I don't think does she normally do samplers. I don't know. I thought it was most often like folk art kind of stuff, and her angels are beautiful. Her folk art pieces and her punch needlework stuff is really, really sweet. But she's got these, I think they're reproduction samplers, and they're stunning. So I'm interested to get a closer look at those. So yeah, the market releases are very interesting. I'm wondering what the Blackbird Design people are going to put out. They aren't giving us any teasers, and I know that as soon as Brenda and the Serial Starter, see them, they'll have hernias and heart attacks. Isn't that right, Laura? You're going to have a heart attack and a hernia? Are you? I'm growing my hair out. I want to grow it a little bit longer. What do you think? I'm going to do it. I just don't want it to drag my face down and make my jowls more jowly. I'll grow it until I can't stand it anymore. But back to market. But those tornadoes today, there were nasty tornadoes in the Nashville area. And like buildings were damaged. I think there were like 9 people killed. It's horrible, and several people injured. But the latest word is that the market, the area near the market wasn't affected, which is good. But man, I feel bad for the people in Nashville. I hope they can. I haven't seen any images out of it, so I don't have a mental picture of the devastation that's been caused. But they're in our thoughts for sure. Man, my pattern is. I usually put my pattern over here, but I can't put it up because then people will say that I'm showing the pattern, and I don't want to do that because I don't want to upset people. Because I'm here to make friends, not enemies. Okay, so what else? What else do I need to blither on about? Stitch North. Let's talk a little bit about Stitch North. Stitch North is, as you probably know, the retreat that Caroline from Off the Grid is organizing. It's going to be I think the last weekend in September, 24, 25, 26, 27 in there. And it's going to be out near Toronto Pearson Airport. it's a suburb called Mississauga, but it's Toronto. Um, and she's just pulling it together, and there has been a great response already. People are already trying to book their hotels. Don't try to book your hotel room until your registration has been approved. Very important. Um, so yeah, she's very excited with the response that she's got, and I won't be able to go on the 24th. I've got a show on the 24th, but I can fly in on the 25th and hopefully take in the rest of the retreat from that point in. And I am going to try to stay out at the hotel, even though I live in Toronto, just for the whole retreat experience. I think I'm going to share a room with my friend Ryan. Which reminds me, and this will be Ryan's first retreat too, and he needs to have another male stitch there, more male stitchers there. So I'm making an appeal, a public appeal to Ginger Gerald. Please come to Stitch North, Ginger Gerald. I know that you and Caroline are good buddies, and you don't really know me, but so even if Ginger Gerald isn't watching this, which I don't think he watches me, but if you know Ginger Gerald, tell him that Ellen is begging him, nay, pleading him to come to Stitch North, because my friend Ryan doesn't want to be the only male stitcher there. Can you pass that on to him for me? Thanks. I was really quite heartened at the number of duck faces that I got after my last floss tube. I made a call for duck faces, and a lot of people on their Instagram gave me their duck faces. So I'd like to do that again. Give me your best duck face right now. 1, 2, 3. You guys are good. So anyway, Stitch North. Caroline she just grabbed a bull by the horns. I don't think she's ever organized any kind of retreat of any size before. I don't think that's been in her wheelhouse, but she has taken it and made it she is in that wheelhouse now. That is her thing. So she is in the thick of it now. And so I'm looking very much forward to that. It'll be nice to meet some more stitchers and maybe some more floss tubers, and hang out in a hotel, because I don't get to do that enough. Caroline was excited because, well, I was excited because there was a pool and a hot tub, but I can tell you right now, I'm not going in a hot tub. People soup, man. Those things are just germ factories. Every time I go in a hot tub or a sauna, I get sick. So you can go in the hot tub and the sauna. Not me. I'll be ordering room service with Ryan. Or maybe he'll be in the hot tub. I don't know. To tell you the truth, I'd already recorded about 18 minutes of this stitch with me. And then I stopped recording because I sounded stupid. Like I'm sounding now. And then I texted Ryan and I said, I almost did a whole stitch with me, but I stopped because I sounded stupid. And he said, Ellen, just pull it together, weirdo, and go back and just talk about whatever. And I said, well, I should have had a list. And he says, you have lots of stories. Talk about that time in Germany. That's one of your favorite stories. And I said, you want me to tell the German poo story? And he said, yes, Ellen, I think you should tell the German poo story. Do you want to hear the German poop story? I think you do. So anyway, I was in Germany. It doesn't really matter where I was. And everyone makes fun of me because when I tell this story, I preface it by saying, I was in Germany. It doesn't matter. They make fun of me because they think I'm being a smarty pants saying that I was in Germany. It doesn't matter where I was. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. So I was in Germany, and I was there with another member of our band who will remain nameless to preserve innocence. And we were in a sort of a lobby area. We were waiting to do some interviews, and we all got separated up out into groups to do interviews with different people. This was back when we actually had a lot of interviews to do, back in the 90s. Um, and so we were waiting for our next interview, and my cohort came out to me and he said, Ellen, do you have a match? I just took a really big dump. And I ran back to my room and got a flashlight because I thought that the light didn't work in the bathroom and that he wanted to show me his poop. You know how people use matches to get rid of the smell of poop? Well, that didn't equate in my brain. I thought he wanted to show me his poop. So I ran to my hotel room, back to my room, to get a flashlight, thinking that he was going to show me his poop. It was in Germany. That's the German poop story. I kind of regret it now, Ryan, and I blame you 1000%. All right. What else can I talk about? I don't know. I'm very, very behind on my floss tube. I have 3 Pam and Stephs lined up to watch. Usually I'm right on those, but I have 3 to catch up on. I just watched Val Stitching in the Barn yesterday, and I watched Brenda and Laura, Brenda and the Serial Starter, and they did this thing called, usually they do it like a designer profile. They show the charts that they have by different designers, but this time they had a section called Why the Heck Haven't I Started This Yet, or something like that. And all the charts that they can't believe, they're so amazing, but they can't believe they haven't started them yet. I think I'm going to do that for my next floss tube. Even though I don't have as many charts as Brenda and Laura, or actually a lot of people, because I'm a lot newer to this, I do have some charts that just I want to start so badly. And I know that this year it was gonna be the year that I started lots of things, because I'm a fairly monogamous stitcher, and it hasn't worked out. I've just been there's something in me that says no, you have to work more on this one before you can start another one. And I'm not really one for, you know, denying myself things. So for me to delay gratification of starting a new project, that's not really my general way. But so far I haven't been able to start anything new. I really want to start that Glorious Sampler by Chlorami. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's red and it's letters and it's fan freaking tastic. But I haven't yet, and I don't know why. Because I'm a ding dong. Oh, you know what I did today? I went on my treadmill. And I did the first day of the first week of the Couch to 5K program that I have done many, many times before. I used to run a lot. In my mid 40s, I got to a point where I was running 40 miles a week. You know, 10K was a short run, not a short run, but it was like my regular 6 miles that I would do. Now it's like doing this Couch to 5K. That was a struggle for me, because I got to do something. All this cross stitching and sitting in vans and waiting around that I've been doing for the last year and a half, I've become very inactive, and I can really just feel it in my energy levels and certainly in the way my clothes fit. And I really don't want to have to buy another stage wardrobe a size up. So before we head out on the road in mid-April, I would like to be a little bit more physically fit if I can. I'm not expecting miracles, because I don't deprive myself much. I'm kind of spineless that way, but I wouldn't mind just at least keeping it in check. So I'm going to try to make a concerted effort to get on the treadmill at least 5 times a week, um, and just see how far I can get into this Couch to 5K program. My hips and knees aren't, of course, what they once were when I was a younger lady. Um, but I think if I take it easy, I certainly don't run fast. It's barely a jog. But if I take it easy, I think I can preserve my joints and still try to get into shape. Hopefully. I was even thinking that I might even start a podcast, which would be of 20-minute episodes, of just, like a backbeat and talking about cross stitch, for cross stitchers who want to walk. Would that interest anyone if I did that? It would be like 20 minutes, just audio, no video, and it would be mostly just like a little bit of backbeat music so that you can walk to the music. But then I would intersperse a little bit of conversation about stitching or whatever was going on, kind of like a stitch with me, but more like a walk with me. Because most of us can do 20 minutes of walking a day. Some people I know it's a struggle, and some people have mobility issues, and so 20 minutes would not be appropriate for them. But if we all did 20 minutes a day, we could probably be a lot healthier. So what do you think? Would anyone be interested in that? Now, don't say yes, and because you're afraid of hurting my feelings. If this isn't something that people are interested in, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it if only 4 people want to do it. But if 30 people said that they were interested in that, I would do it. It'd be like a walking companion. So for 20 minutes a day, I would just talk and have music in the background that went boom chick boom chick boom chick boom, because everyone wants to walk to that kind of thing. What do you think? Is that silly? Is that stupid? It's just something else. Just because I think we gotta stay healthy. Gotta take care of ourselves, and 20 minutes isn't going to. Hello, look who's here. Hello. 20 minutes isn't going to have us running marathons, but it's better than nothing, right? Well, I think Fiona is telling me what time it is, and it is time to pay attention to Fiona because she's Mommy's baby. Oh my God, I love her so much. So I think it's time to wind it up, and I'm going to have a little talk with my cat and tell her how beautiful she is. Fiona, what's this? Here. Who's that? Do you like those people? See, I said ladies again, and I know that it's not just ladies watching. Look at those awesome people, Fiona. I love her so much. Anyway, that's 27, 28 minutes. I think that's enough rambling. Next time I'll try to be more organized with my thoughts. Let's turn this off. Oh, that's better. Have a great day. I hope you're enjoying what you're stitching, and I'll check in with you next week when I do a regular floss tube. Until then, rock on.